Hello, abnormal family. How are y'all doing tonight? I've been looking at a story that I've noticed has surfaced lately, and it's caught my attention. Y'all remember the Ryker Webb story about the little boy in Montana that went missing for 2 days? Whenever he was brought back to the ambulance, everybody noticed that he had a look on his face, and the look on his face was a look of terror. Well, it seems there was a lot more to that than what was said, and I took a deep dive into that, looking into a lot of the statements and things that were made. So we're going to get into it a little bit with some new evidence I found, some more stuff that was released that I feel is, excuse me, very important to the case. Um, I found some things I just believe that we can't overlook, like the Brenda Hamilton case and things that really start to resonate with me whenever I look at this. Riker's parents became apprehensive after they discovered that he had wandered off away from home. They involved the authorities, and a rescue team combed through the rough terrain for 2 days. Riker was later found in his shed in the rough part of the forest more than 2 miles away from home. Now, he made 2 miles in 2 days, so about a mile a day in rough terrain is what they're saying, which I believe that could probably maybe be possible. I don't believe that would be impossible. Ryker Webb is a 4-year-old boy who became famous after he spent the 2 days alone in the wild in Troy, northwestern Montana forest when he was just 3 years old. Surviving a night alone in the wild is a feat that not only a handful of adults can achieve, but this little hero spent 2 days alone in the wilderness under very harsh conditions and was later found unharmed. His parents, who had become very frantic at the time, were very grateful to have found their little boy in good health. Now, good health, guys, remember that. While he was relieved to get reunited with them, but there's more to Riker's story. Ryker Webb was last seen the afternoon of Friday, June 3rd, 2023, while he was playing with their family dog in the front of his home, shortly after he decided to take a walk by himself and wandered off alone. Riker's parents realized that he had gone missing and started looking for him. They became hysterical and reported the case at the police station. 2 hours later, all efforts to find him proved abortive. They waited 2 hours to report him missing. The city rescue team swung into action immediately and started combining the nearby woods. They was combing the nearby woods for any signs of the 3-year-old's red head. Tensions rose higher among Riker's parents and members of the rescue team, particularly after a strong thunderstorm started later that evening and the temperatures dropped in the 40s. Now remember, guys, this is the first day that he went missing. The temperatures dropped down into the 40s and there was a huge thunderstorm. Hypothermia on a normal condition will usually start around 40 degrees. Now you add in a thunderstorm with rain and wind, damp conditions, I would say that you're probably going to have hyperthermia. It's going to happen even faster. Also, within that day, I don't believe he would have made the 2 mile walk to the shed that he was found in. So, therefore, I don't believe that he would have had shelter during this time if he was alone, which I do not believe he was alone. I believe he was taken by something. And we'll get more into that in just a little bit. These are things they're not telling you, they're just things that I've picked out of the story that have come to my attention. Uh, it just makes sense. The sheriff's department put in a great energy to rescue the missing child before any harm came to him in the forest, which was inhabited by wild animals. They used ATVs, drones, dog teams, and a boat for search, and also sent a code red alert to the neighbors so that they could join forces to cover more grounds and an expansive forest in a shorter time. However, the first day of the search went by without any luck, and young Riker spent the night out in the wilderness alone. After a thunderstorm, in the cold and in the wet, and temperatures in the 40s. The missing Ryker Webb was found the afternoon of Sunday, June 5th, 2023, 2 days later after he had gone missing. He was discovered by a husband and wife in the shed of their old cabin in the woods. The couple narrated that they had come to check on their cabin when they heard a young boy's voice coming from their shed, where they put their generators. They then called the police, and then they found the child in the shed. Now, what I was thinking about that, guys, when I heard that, it seems to me that is weird. He would be talking in a shed while he was alone. Was something in the shed with him that he was talking to? What was he conversing with, or who was he conversing with? And I think the question here, guys, is more of what was he conversing with? I believe there was something there that had took care of him the first night when the rain had hit, the cold weather, and I believe that he was with this thing that had took him and it had brought him to this shed. I'll get into that more in just a minute. Soon after the sheriff's office responded to the call from the couple's home at Pine Ridge Road, off South Fork Bull River Road in Sanders County, about 3.9 kilometers away from Riker's family's home, the sheriff soon arrived and found the missing boy in good health. Although he was extremely hungry and thirsty, he was taken to the Cabinet Peaks Medical Center for evaluation and later reunited with his much relieved parents. 2 nights with temps in the 40s, he had no hyperthermia and was found in good health. The real identities of Riker's parents have remained carefully under the carpets. This is probably an attempt to attract no more attention to the already traumatized family. However, folks have raised a lot of concern over the kind of parents they had been to their son. This was particularly after it revealed that they had spent over 2 hours before they reported Riker's missing at the police station. The parents' identity is hidden, and it seems they're trying to maybe cover up something, is what I believe. Speaking to Today, the Lincoln County Sheriff, Darren Short, revealed that they were still investigating the case to figure out why they didn't keep an eye on the young boy and how he wandered off so far from the home. Nonetheless, the general concern was put to rest by how relieved and scared the little boy felt to see his parents again. So they're pretty much saying, don't look over here, while something's going on over there. That's what it sounds like to me. Ryker Webb went missing on Friday, June 3rd, 2022. He was last spotted by his family while he was playing with their dog. He was then left alone with the dog and went missing. The last known update on Ryker Webb was on June 5th, 2022, just after he was reunited with his parents. Although many followers of the story are eager to know what has been up to lately, his parents have seemingly kept quiet about it, probably in a bid to move to a horrifying event, is what they're saying. But also, I found this. The state government seems to be in with this arrangement and has concealed Riker parents' identities to ensure their little boy's childhood is not haunted by the event. Okay, we all know that normally during a normal missing child, when a child goes missing and a child is found, it's normally not protocol to put a family, what I would call, into protective custody, to change their names, and for the government to assist in hiding them. Now, if I was to guess, I would say what they're trying to cover up, and it sounds a lot like the Oklahoma case that I looked into with the McNeilis boy. It seems these families are always relocated. Now, the McNeilis boy, granted, was not, their names weren't changed, but they moved from a lower end of, I would say, living to a more middle class living, and their lives completely changed. And a lot of people believe that the government was in on that to help with the death of their child. Fortunately, Ryker was found alive, which, thank God for that. Riker's parents have made no comments and have been quiet. The state government seems to want to hide the family also. The truth to what happened with Riker really seems that he saw something terrifying in the pictures in the ambulance. The question was released by the press is, where is Riker now? No one knows where the parents or Riker are today, as they have been relocated with new names. From his pictures that were taken just after his rescue, one can detect that there was a noticeable difference in Riker's face. The 3-year-old looked leaner than he did earlier in the pictures. There was traces of blood all over his face, and his eyes looked much wider from sheer fright. There was blood on his face, but no visible injuries. My question was, where did the blood come from? The significant alterations in Riker's face made people speculate that he may have been encountered some real danger in the period that he was lost. However, these were unfounded rumors, as the authorities confirmed that he did not have any substantial physical or even internal injuries. His leaner features, said by the authorities, were from the 2 days he spent without food or water, and the blood streaks must have been from a cut from the shrubs or the tree branches. Remember, there was no injuries to him, so now they're saying there's injuries, so there's the loopholes we start looking for in the reports. They start backtracking. On the other hand, his frightened eyes are typical reaction from any small child who spent 2 days out in the wild in total isolation. Do you believe that's why he was looking like that, or do you believe it was a trauma from seeing something in the woods? Let me know in the comments, guys. I'd be interested to know your thoughts on that. Sounds like excuses to me. It has also been reported that Riker was found in clothes that he was not wearing when he went missing. Did something have clothes for him because it was already planning to take him? Did whatever took Riker leave him in the building to be found because the search was getting too close to it and it knew that if it found him, the search would stop? Like on 411, a lot of people are found in areas that they look at when they're looking for them. And I think the possibility may be that these creatures or these beings know that once a large scale search party starts looking for them, they get too close. If they find what they're looking for, then it'll stop. Or was what had him killed, uh, or was it what had him killed and the clothes changed to hide the possible DNA that was left on him? Was the blood on Riker's face from the creature that may have been killed by authorities whenever they apprehended him? Because we all know that if they would have killed one of these creatures, they're for sure not going to release it. They would have changed his clothes, but it still doesn't make sense to why they would have left the blood on Riker's face unless it was just something that they maybe thought it was, from the child. I look forward to seeing what you guys say about this, guys. I think it's a very unique case. I believe there's going to be more that's going to come out about it. Hopefully, the parents will come out someday and talk about it. But I felt this needed a deeper dive. I appreciate y'all watching. And until next time, guys, keep your head on a swivel. We'll see you on the next one. And don't be something's dinner.